Whoa, welcome back to Monster Train. In today's episode, it's 3 p.m. My window is closed because the birds are like extra loud today. But that does mean I'm also very warm. So therefore, I am going to expedite the intro. Maybe today I won't have another 55-minute banger after I say, "God damn, it's hot out here, ain't it?" How you doing? How's it going? I'm fine. Thanks for asking. 3 p.m. Woke up at like 11, I think. When did I wake up today? I think it was 11:30. That seems right. So I've been awake for like, I don't know, I keep recording Monster Train at 3 p.m. and then I go, what did I do today? Shit, dude, I don't know. Let's see, I probably ate, applied for some more jobs. Played balloons? That's about it. It doesn't feel like 2.5 hours, 3.5 hours, but I guess it is. Anyway, yeah, let me ask you a question. Let's get going, shall we? So today, I just watched a video before this about doing a dopamine detox. I'm probably not going to participate in doing this, but I thought it was an interesting concept, and I wanted to ask you, my dear viewer, if you have ever done any sort of a detox. You ever do like a juice cleanse? I don't know. Do people do those? I feel like those are kind of like mid-2010s, not really so hot anymore. Or like, I guess another word for a detox would be a tolerance break, which I know a few of my friends did when they were in college to, like, you know, really feel it. It was basically to save themselves money, I think. It's like, hey, I gotta drink a lot more to get there. And like, hey, you know what? Right on. I have not done any sort of detox, but am I going to? I don't know. I always kind of felt like they were bullshit, but maybe you don't. I don't know. That's what I'm here to ask about. Anyway, let's get rolling, shall we? Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Ex Stygian, Exile, Awoken, Soul Sucker, Failure, Sap, Ice Tornado, Glimmer, Preserve. I've been like, I gotta tell you, I've been so hot the last few days. It is brutal out here. And maybe I don't take infused mallet, it's whatever. It's like, it's not that it's just hot, I don't mind if it's just hot, but it has been so humid lately. That's what I really hate. I don't mind the heat, but when it's so humid, oh man. Especially now, because, so when I was in high school, I played all my video games on a laptop, and I would just sit in bed and play games on a laptop. And that was no problem, I didn't mind that, basically at all. But, nice job. Solgar's solos this wave, so the play here is to just let this guy walk and then unfreeze Solgard here. Yeah, and then throw a train steward behind. Then I can just ignore this enemy with Solgard at full HP. A little close. It's fine. But in high school, it's like, it's not so bad. Now that I have this chair, it's like, I don't think it's leather, but I don't really know what it's made of, now that I think about it. But like, it's significantly less comfortable than I would be. I hate the humidity. Take energy siphon. It's probably restoration detonation. Usually if you're Exile Awoken and they show you a healing card, you want to take it, I feel. Hearthstone and Can Armor 2+10. Hey, how about a shark? Oh, now between Hot Shark and Siren of the Sea, which is Hot Shark? The question is over. No further questions at this time, please. 105 puts me to 220. Reroll puts me to 160. Large stone shark, and then if I miss endless here, hey, we hit endless. It's kind of a toss-up there, honestly. If I could, you know, it would be in a different world. I would love to be able to pause that banner, because what I would love to do there is go reroll the shop. Because if there's a multi-strike, I think you're better to take the Siren. I took the Shark because A, Shark is just generally very good, and B, in this position, there's a large stone, and I have enough money to buy a large stone and reroll. So I can just play large stone Shark and let him go nuts. Like so. Thusly. And then we also have the money for a reroll, and there's like a 1 in 3 that I hit endless, but the guarantee was the large stone, which is good for me here. And so here we are. We're gonna slaughter these combats. I could have played Preserve, it doesn't matter. Don't worry about it too much, huh? We're gonna crush this combat. It's not close. I'm so confident, I'm just going to press end turn 3 times. I feel like maybe it would come across, like, I often play out cards in a combat like this because I feel like I should, but, because I don't want to come across as though I'm rushing through this video or anything like that. However, yeah, there's not really a reason for me to play cards there. That combat is extremely over. That combat too is trivial. I have Endless Large Stone Shark. And Soul Guard. Of these, I said I like to take the heal, but I think that Wildwood Sap is... it's like... it's okay, right? In a really doomed world, I could use a Wildwood Sap Relentless plan, but I don't like it. I think it's generally very bad. But Sharpen is bad damage scaling. I'm gonna take Steel Enhancer. It's a free spell. That's usually pretty good. There is no reason to go to a steel shop here, so I will go to the Stygian banner. Nameless Siren is fine. Absolutely okay. And I'm gonna go ahead and go to 50 pack shards here. We can take the very good, very guaranteed self-infused shark line. If I feel like, and I'm not complaining about this by any means, but I feel like I have seen so many value stone intrinsics in these temples. If I could pick two, if I had to choose, always these two show up, it's probably value stone intrinsic. I think they're on average the highest value. Oh no, I thought about this. As I was doing that infusion, I was like, oh, what if it gives me 5 sharks? I think that it's very bad. I've won runs with the Shark Pyramid in the past, but the Shark Pyramid is not good here. I'm sorry, but I'm not 5xing Shark. I could actually, like, unironically 5x Ice Tornado, and that's not bad. I think that 5xing anything here is very bad. The only card that I would think about is if I had a -1 on a Root Seeds, I would probably 5x that. But I don't. So I'm going to take one of, and I'm going to take one of the Value Stone Ice Tornado. You don't take pack shards for that, so it's okay. And it should be fine. ×5 Shark. It's really not so bad. In this position, I could maybe even get away with it because I think that the hard part would be outside of the Divinity though. But it's bad because of Large Stone. If it's not Large Stone, you can take space and you can play 3 sharks, 2 sharks, 3 sharks as your game plan. With the old 3-2-3. Nameless Siren just dies. That's pretty funny. I don't need you, a Nameless Siren. Get out of here. You can come back later. You're not important in this combat. The Shark just goes nuts now. I mean, he goes. This combat is actually solo won by this unit. If you're wondering, this combat is over. My man wins. I guess I did buff up Ice Tornado and take Molt. Yep. Wild. I took multiple Ice Tornadoes, and I tend to not like to do that in runs like this. Hold. I have this. The Root Seed's here, right? Oh my god, he wins this! Come on, Shark, you got this! Come on, buddy, don't let me down here. He wins it! Oh man, he didn't even need Endless. This unit has not needed Endless yet. What a great card. Deep Offering is like close, but not very good, I don't think. I'll pass. Another Shark? It's a question of what do I want to put on the Nameless Siren. Do I want to put Nameless Siren on Nameless Siren? I mean, the problem is that she's just gonna die, right? But it's probably okay. No, I think it's bad. I think you have enough damage scaling. I'm gonna skip that. And then probably take Energy? We have Root Seeds. We have a lot of 3s, and we have 3, maybe 2 3s? No, we have 2 1s. Fine. And then Awoken Banner. So here's the question. If I go to the Awoken Banner, I have to find a unit that I want to put on the Siren. Right? And I guess in skipping the Nameless Siren Infusion, I am saying that I want to go to this Awoken Banner. Because... okay, but the question is, what do I want to put on Nameless Siren then? I think the answer is nothing, and the skipping of the Nameless Siren infusion is just saying, yeah, I don't really think that that's worth the packed shards, which, you know, I don't think it is. I think there's better things for me to spend 25 pack shards on. Like Cuddlebeard, hey! Wow, I really probably could have gotten away with multiple sharks in this run. Holdover feel good on anything here? Probably on a healing card, actually. One way to keep the Siren alive is to give her 25 HP and put a holdover on Glimmer. Yeah, I think that's the play. And I'll give it like a plus 10 or a plus 30. Something like that. And we'll cut out a Train Steward. I'm not going to do 2. I'm going to go ahead and remove a Root Seeds. Not going to do 2. Sorry, remove -1 of Root Seeds. This run should have I mean, basically, as is often the case in... I would consider ourselves in the overarching late game here. Not of, like, this run, but of my experience in monstertrain. And by that I mean, of course, in monstertrain in current year, I pretty much know what lines are going to win, what lines are going to lose. Sometimes there are some outliers in there, where I'm not 100% sure. But in this case, we're playing a run with a self-infused large stone endless hot shark and a Cuddlebeard. And also some other cards that are here. Though there are definitely also other cards. Now, I'd prefer to not get hit here, but unfortunately I don't think I'm able to. You're 10, right? Yeah, 1, 2, 3. It is, like, numerically impossible. So, best play is just let the Siren die. And look away. I'm gonna take, was it? You're gonna hit me once for 14. And that's fine. It's like, the multi-strike was fine. If we see a turn 1 infused enemy, I'm probably going to get hit right now. In this run. Because Soul Guard will not be freed. I'm gonna pay the 1 for that. Shark lives at 2 here? That's fine. I guess. I'll give you the Skill Enhancer and the Root Seeds. Soul Guard's free. Soul Guard tends to win Relentless on his own, so I'm not all that worried, I suppose. He's great at just ending Relentlesses, I feel. Although this is a pretty frightening one, the boss is doing quite a bit, but then again, because my Siren died, I can just play the Shark. It's actually... Oh, also Shark does 508 here. Oh, also forgot this part. Shark does 508 damage there. My bad. The boss actually just dies to me playing Flash Freeze. Okay. Could have racked up another win for Shark there. Curse Vines is great. A free spell every turn to play to unphase Soul Guard, extremely good. Now, interestingly, Guardian Stone is not the worst take here, but I think I don't need it. Again, it's like, is this worth the pack shards? And the answer is, well, probably not. But you could infuse Guardian Stone on Nameless Siren to try and keep her standing. I don't think she needs it. If she dies, she dies, is my feeling. And Graft is good because it's a free spell. Like, basically a cantrip is a good way to call it. 1 energy, gain the energy and the drawback. Because often I will think only in terms of the card's draw. I actually think I want to go for a plus 25 and not an Incan Armor 2 here. Yeah, because I have the healing plan. But I'll think of the cost of a card in terms of just its energy and not in terms of also its draw. Which you do have to pay one of your card draws to draw a card. Crazy, I know. I left in the Train Steward to cut a foregone power. They'll all end up out of the run, and it shouldn't make a big difference when what goes out. Time for revenge on Self-Made Harpy for yesterday. Hopefully. Or not. Or it could be very bad, I guess. But hopefully. I should play the Glimmer top 4. My goal should still be to unphase Nameless Siren, or unphase Soul Guard and save Nameless Siren. None of these other cards are targeted on this guy. Yeah, we're at 6. You're fine. It's 20. You're at 23 here. I would like to break this unit. Oh, you're not at 23. You're at 33. I'd still like to cut through this frontliner here. Maybe this is wrong. But I'd like to make it so that Soulguard gets an unfettered hit on the tank, right? You know what I should have done? I should have kept the Ice Tornado. This is okay. Probably. Yeah, because I'll probably draw this Ice Tornado. And the odds are against it screwing me over. They're there. That could have happened, but I think the odds were against it. And we'll play for the incants, because there's no reason not to. Not a great hand, is it? Should be fine. The spell field almost caught me here, but it ends up okay. It's one of those things where it's like, yeah, I could have probably optimized this a little bit, but ultimately I didn't need to. Order, by the way. Ultimately, the optimization here doesn't matter, and we're fine. This is also Self-Made Harpy versus Hot Shark, so... Okay, in 2 rounds, you'd kind of just die, huh? I can't believe these bosses keep beating Shark at like 7 HP. What is this, man? Oh wait, it's actually 7 HP. What the hell? That was just I just threw a number out. I have to defend Shark's honor by killing you with Vine Grasp. No, Vine Grasp. One of these combats, Soulguard is going to go into Relentless. It should be Arcus, actually. Arcus should give us a real run for our money here. This is a pretty good healing card. Unleash? Yeah, I think I'd be silly to pass it up. Because it's a context plus 1 energy spell, I can play it without any fear. I could just go, top floor needs an incant, boom. Or, let me take Mark of a Champion. Or you can play it as I full heal Shark so he gets a full round off here. This is the 3rd endless on this run. And a multi-strike, cool. I haven't had a run lately where I go 0 for 0 on multi-strikes. It's kind of nice. This run, it would not have been an issue if I went 0 for 0 on multi-strikes, but like, we would be fine regardless. I'll probably go over by 5 and take that artifact. It does put push the divinity to 10 damage instead of 5, but double incants are great. Double incants are really good because it makes it a lot easier to unhatch, or unphase Soulguard. Unhatch Soulguard, yeah. I don't care about playing this Glimmer again, so I can just cost it up to 3 on the incants. I think it's worth it to just like brick that card and be able to pay to play my, or get 2 incants on Soulguard, I should say. Pay to play my, what the hell am I saying? It's like, I just missed this Vine Grasp, I guess. It's fine, you can't put yourself in front. Wow, this relic just doesn't even kill things anymore. Very grim for our good buddy, Infused Mallet. It's another one of those relics that was like bad beforehand and then post DLC it's just terrible. Some things that were bad before became a lot better after the DLC hit. Like, a great example of this is, of course, as many people have said it, but I will say it again. My good buddy, Haraphin Enforcer. That unit was so terrible. That unit was a joke before the DLC. That unit was god-awful. And now he's great. Also, add this to the databanks, by the way. I've been, like, passively increasing my knowledge about some of the patterns on fights. I think that what, so, let me get you a little, what do they call this? They call this, like, insider baseball, maybe? However you want to call it. Let me get you a little intel on how I believe, after all of this time I've spent with the game, what I have calculated as to how the bosses operate. So, the floating bosses, which affect floors, they affect floors in a specific manner. So, like, for example, the reason that I ever even started thinking about this was Pushback Talos. Pushback Talos is, she deploys, or rather attacks 5 floors over the course of your combat, right? So she'll attack a floor set, because she has 5 rounds and then she enters Relentless on round 6, right? So, if you're with me so far, I will carry on. Are you with me so far? I'll wait for an audible yes. Okay, good. Anyway. Yeah, good. I should play these foregone powers down here. But so pushback Talos will go like, and so if she starts on mid floor, typically it'll go mid floor and then top or bottom, right? And then after top or bottom, he will go to bottom or top, and then back to mid floor, and then to top or bottom based on which one she went to already, and then enter Relentless. So you can generally say the floor that Talos, pushback Talos starts on is the floor that like is guaranteed to have twice, and then the other two are 50-50s. However, I think that it's coded in such a way where she also, and this is true, I believe, of all of the floating bosses, except for Seraph. Seraph works differently. I'll get into that in a second. But adaptive mutation is good here. The way that it should work, I'm not going to play 2 sirens. I'm going to take draw. The way that it should work is, of course, like, so like for Talos, it would be like middle, top, bottom, top, or middle, top, bottom, middle, top, right? And in a rotating fashion like that. But it doesn't always work like that. And sometimes, in a very rare set of cases, Talos will go like middle, top, bottom. And I think that what it is that the bosses are coded with like a very small amount of randomness to them, where there's just a slight chance, I'll take Pyrestone Housing here, that the boss goes off of the script. Like there is a script that they're following, should have checked first. There's a script that the boss is following where it's supposed to be like middle, top, bottom, right? And it just rotates through. But sometimes that script is broken to keep you unable to predict with 100% certainty what they do. Now, if you're still with me through all of that, why did I start talking about all this? Well, it's because in that combat there, Arcus broke what I would say is the rule. Because in my mind right now, Arcus is a general rule of... Arcus has 2 shards, and Arcus will go like... He'll put each shard on each floor once, basically. And then I think maybe there's 1 extra. Let me think. I think it's an 8-round combat. But in my mind, it's like... So Arcus should go like incant, harvest, incant, harvest, incant, harvest... Incant, maybe? Something like that, right? And it should go in order, right? You should have like, you should play incant, harvest, incant on like top, middle, bottom. But Arcus is a little harder to pin down, I guess, right? Arcus is harder to really grasp, but Arcus, basically all of this is to say I'm pretty sure Arcus just broke the script on me there. And sometimes people tell me, like, I'll talk about this stuff and I'll be like, at the end of it, I'll be like, who cares? And people will say, yeah, you know, I thought that was a really interesting bit of dialogue that you had there. So, you know, I got nothing better to talk about. It's really interesting to try and figure out how stuff like that works in these games, I think, anyway. I think it's very interesting to look at that and go, how the hell does this work? Because knowledge is half the battle in a fight like that. Now, Seraph works completely differently because Seraph, except for Diligent Seraph does 2 things when he makes his turn, not just 1. Because, like, Pushback Talos is just choosing a floor to hit. Hold on, I gotta count. I would really like to not take this damage here. I can do Adaptive Mutation, which is pretty good. I think I should probably play a spell first, like Ice Tornado. And then I should do Adaptive. Yeah, I'm gonna get fucking smoked here, man. Holy moly. It's good. It's not so bad because I have plus 20 on my damage output, but yeah, not being able to cast 15 spells yet is rough. I think I get hit twice. 3 times. Brutal. It's basically a bit of a gamble, though, in taking the trial. I'm gambling that I'm not going to... Well, A, I'm gambling that it's not going to be an infused frontliner on turn 1, because if it is... if it's not an infused frontliner, but an infused guild wings. First, I'm gambling that there's not going to be an infusion on turn 1, and second, it has to be an infused gilded wing. And when it happens, I take a lot of damage. But otherwise, this is a whole different subset of philosophies I have about this game, where you basically just for long-term victory. I'm getting on a tangent in the middle of my tangent, but for like long-term speed versus win rate choices, which are what I'm making, you make plays that are better on average. Because on average, you're gonna have like, oh, well, the gilded wing's probably not gonna be infused. It'll be something else, or it'll be later in the combat, right? But sometimes it's both and you get clobbered there. But it's also like, sometimes it kills me, but sometimes it doesn't. Like in this case, I just take, like, what's that, 54? And that sucks, but the payoff should be worth it. And on average, I would take 0 there, I think, as well. But back to what I was saying about Seraph. Seraph, he has to target your floors, except for Diligent Seraph, who has no effect. But like, Sap Seraph and Chase Seraph have to target your floors, so The way that they work is they will always, like, you'll see it on Sap Seraph here, he's always going to be hitting one of my units with his effect, which is the Sap effect. And so if you're playing singular floors, you're guaranteed Seraph is going to visit your floor every other turn. Diligent Seraph is less this case because Diligent Seraph doesn't care, basically. Because Diligent Seraph doesn't actually affect your floor, he just spawns a unit and makes... He doesn't even make curses, does he? No, he sure doesn't. I'm gonna get rid of the 3-cost Ice Tornado because I think it's hard to play, and it's slowing me down on my incant front. So I took the +1 unit slot upgrade. Deck Strips is okay here. Pyre House or Precious Plating. Pyre House? Pyre House. Yeah, no, that's Pyre Housing is what I was thinking of. Totem Fragment's good. The end. Just Snap Pick. It's like the top 3 relics in the game, I think. It's extremely game winning. Endless. There were 4 Endless on this run. I'm gonna go ahead and take the higher base HP here for this unit. Could have gone for a +25 on the Shark. Probably worth it, yeah. Get rid of the 1-cost Glimmer. We're gonna leave. I'm not gonna buy any more removals. I don't really want to. I don't have anything else I want to get rid of in this run. We're cruising. But yeah, analyzing what the hell the bosses are doing, I think is pretty fun to try and figure out. I also think it's kind of interesting that sometimes bosses in this game, like I could have root-seeds that guy, sometimes bosses in this game are easier than, like floating bosses are easier than regular bosses sometimes because they're always there. Like, so, there are often cases where the Divinity is an easier fight than other fights are. Nah, too bad. That just gives a little more frostbite by being the Shark. But the Divinity is easier because the Divinity is always there. Like, if you have a strike-based build, the Divinity is always there for your units to hit, so you can scale a lot faster. Now look at this wave, man. Like, look at how much different it is because the turn 1 there wasn't infused. Those enemies don't even hurt. I guess it's also a number of hits thing on the previous fight, right? Is why I got hit. Because, like, a lot more enemies hitting Shark means a lot more frostbite on Shark. Or on the enemies, I should say. Freeze, it doesn't really matter. I just have to play in camps now. I'm saving this tome for something. Not this guy, though. He got auto-silenced by Sigiled Seaweed. Probably this one. Sigiled Seaweed, man. What a banger. I feel like it goes hard. I think it's probably one of my more underrated relics, because, like, holy shit, it just often says, like, it wins so many 50-50s and silences key enemies. It's so cool. Sometimes it does nothing, but sometimes it's very good for you. I was gonna point out stuff about, like, what Seraph is doing here, but there's really not a whole lot to point out. At this point, I will just kind of move on from the boss analysis, but it's fun. I think it's interesting because the floating bosses are often a bit of a mystery. Could talk a lot about them. Oh, these Ice Tornadoes as Seraph, take that. Typically on these runs, if I'm doing 1200 damage to Seraph for Relentless, the run is probably in a good spot. If I've done like 4 rounds of free combat to him, you're usually pretty happy with your position. Wow, both deadweights stayed frozen. Kind of bad, but not really. It stopped me from drawing a Vine Grasp there, but I think we'll live. Shark didn't win? Only 188 frostbite out of that unit. Come on, man. Are you kidding me? I remember when the game came out, I thought that Shark, I didn't think he was bad, but I didn't think about this endless combo that you have with him where you just go, oh yeah. And now enemies take a load of damage for free. Like now, in hindsight, it's very easy. But I think a lot of times, and maybe you have some of these for yourself, where you look at things and you look back at your opinion on them and you go, wow, how was I so wrong? The answer for me, what I've noticed is that since I took up not card creation, but like content creation as a whole, I tend to prefer, and I think it's more exciting for the content, if I take really like really hard stances on cards, like I go, wow, isn't this god awful? Because even if I'm wrong, it's fine. Who cares? Like, because realistically, the answer to how good is this card, if you were to show me like basically any card in existence in a game, the answer to how good is this card is, well, I don't really know. Hey, I just dropped my shark for fun, by the way. That's my B, that's my B. But no, the answer is typically, I don't really know. It kind of depends a lot on the context. Maybe there's a cool combo. But that answer is boring, so I've decided that when it comes to how good is this card and evaluating things, you can see this a lot in Gordian Quest, which I've been playing. If you haven't watched that, go check it out. It's pretty fun. Game's very much a good time. But in Gordian Quest, when I see a new card, I basically, because it's obviously just, well, contextually, I don't have the full context. I don't know how good or bad this is. But when I see a new card, I usually go, wait, isn't this god awful? Or isn't this broken? Downfall as well, I've been playing on stream lately, and when I see new cards in that, I go, isn't this, like, atrocious? And I guess it's a little bad, because over time, it'll probably hurt my perceptions of cards. And, like, I'll have trouble, like, I had a lot of trouble in Slay the Spire originally with cards, because I was like, oh, this card is just bad, there's no use case for it. And that hurt me in terms of my ability to go, oh, I have to take this here, basically. But it also makes it a little more fun for me to just look at cards and dunk on them, I think. So it's a trade-off I'm willing to make, I feel. But yeah, I didn't think Shark was bad originally, by any means. I just didn't. I didn't think anything of it. I remember thinking, this one's pretty fun. One of my original card takes was, I thought that the... Hold on. This is, you have one, yeah, so it's like this. There you go. I thought that the card, not the card, I thought the damage shield dog and the lifesteal dog, I thought they were very bad originally. And then they weren't, of course, because they were one of the great ways to kill Seraph. And then post DLC, well, how the turntables, huh? Now they're god-awful. Now they are truly terrible. I was just ahead of my time, is the thing. I think that the bonus on Soulguard actually saved me a lot of damage here. This might have looked a lot more frightening if it wasn't for the... not the Totem Fragment, the Mark of a Champion. Because I think the, like, 115 damage I gained from that made a pretty big difference in me actually catching the first boss. I guess roughly it's like 3 hits I saved, but still. Good run, fast run. I can open my window again, thankfully. It's just, you show me a shark, you show me an endless in the first shop, I'm probably going to show you a win. That's just kind of how it goes. At the end of the day, a hot shark plus any warm body on top floor is probably... It doesn't even have to be a warm body. Maybe Soulguard's cold, I don't know. Probably is. The Siren's probably hot. She's like, you know, there's fire coming out of her when she rages. But anyway. Join me next time for my Monster Train body heat tier list. Can you imagine I just keep coming up with things to tier list? Hey, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed, don't forget to leave me a like. Subscribe if you want to see more. I'll see you in the next one. Have a good one.